Association was very good in learning about how the NGA works. I think two important aspects of NGA as an organization, which I think we should learn from, is their secretariat in charge of research and organization, and also the one in charge of corporate governance. I think these two are very important, especially when it comes to always being proactive, knowing what's happening and what we need to do. There is no need waiting until the public is complaining about certain aspects of devolution or how counties are managed. Those complaints, those concerns could easily be acted upon if we had a strong research secretariat and also a strong secretariat or institution dealing with corporate governance. That's one. Secondly, I think what has been a good learning curve for us is the fact that states actually do go out and look for markets for their exports. Remember, they say in a state of New Mexico, for example, that 95% of their produce is exported, either within the US or within the North American region, to Mexico or to Canada. And so they're always looking for markets outside to make sure that their states are developing economically. I think that's also another thing that in our case it would be looking for investors, as it were, or people who can invest in manufacturing and value addition in our county economies.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now let's talk about networking. Have you really done enough research in networking and ensured that at least when you go back home, the people of the great county of Kisumu are going to gain?
Well, I think yes, but you know, in a kind of a conference like this, encounters are so brief that if we had a counterpart institution who can follow up within the US, it would be very good. People like you, for example. You know the local situation, you know the assistance to these people. I mean, it's at that level that things are important. It's not so much getting to know the governor, but getting to know the institution of the governor, i.e. those who work under him or her, those who make things work. I think what this conference has done is just open doors for us, really. I think the subsequent interaction will be much more important. And also, it also tells us which states really would be interested to us to work visiting again. I mean, the NGA secretariats have told us that from now on, our Council of Governors Secretariat can follow up certain things for us that we are interested in. For example, I'm really interested in the state of Montana and Utah. Interesting enough. Their economies, what they're doing and so on, are interesting me a lot. So I'd like to follow up on Montana and Utah. You know, generally we tend to think that the East Coast and the West Coast, let's say New York and San Francisco, Los Angeles, that those are the places where the action is. Its action is there, but relevant to our level of development and our concerns, maybe these other states that we never pay attention to are very important to us. Michigan, Utah, Montana. I was looking forward to meeting the governor of Illinois here, because Illinois, it's the region of the Great Lakes. Unfortunately, it didn't come, but I think that I've made some contact with people in Illinois. You can follow up subsequently.
Thank you very much, Professor. You are speaking to diaspora directly, because most diasporans, especially from Kenya, they are living in North America. What opportunities do you really, or can you encourage them to come and invest in Kisumu County?
I think, let me say the following. We are engaged in a very important exercise at the moment in Kisumu, that is doing the geophysical planning and the geomapping of the city. We'll follow another one for the county as a whole. But this is going to tell us exactly how to zone the city and what kind of activity is going to be where. In that regard, the government Big Four agenda, especially in housing, this is an area in which people in diaspora can invest very easily. People forming housing companies just to come and develop real estate for sale to an energy is very important. Or in maritime transport on the lake. Again, these are low-hanging fruits that anybody with some money to spare can invest in easily. I think if you're in North America, those are areas in which you can invest it without worrying too much. You see, agriculture really requires you to be there, hands-on as it were. But real estate, you can invest, can be managed without you being there. And since the county is very much prepared to husband or midwife such investments on behalf of investors, I think these are two areas in which, once we are out with the Kisumu County investment profile and we put it on our website, we pass it on to people in diaspora, we're also intending to have a Blue Economy Conference in Kisumu before the national one. Again, this shall be on our website, we shall market it through the media, and those in diaspora wanting to come and see what's happening in Kisumu on the ground will be very welcome.
Thank you very much, Professor. You are among the brainchild of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Can you tell us briefly what it entails?
Well, the Lake Region Economic Bloc, as it name suggests, brings together 14 counties in the Lake Region with a total population of 14 to 15 million people. That's a big market. Then it's a region, of course, in which the counties have endowment, the agricultural endowment of various kinds, like Ericho and Nandi have tea. We in the sugar belt, we have sugar, rice, and so on. A lot of complementarity. Another thing is that the region has a fantastic potential for dairy production. This is an area we have not really exploited fully. And one of the reasons why we haven't exploited it is because we have never realized that coming together has a lot of power in terms of economies of scale and sharing experiences. We are establishing the Lake Region Economic Bloc Bank, which is going to be both a commercial and a development bank. We have had a tremendous interest from would-be investors in this bank. When I went to Genoa with my economic advisor, we made contact with the OPEC Bank, or OPEC Finance Group, and they're working with us on an advisory capacity in establishing this bank. And I think the bank has a tremendous potential because it will help us finance development in the Lake region.
Thank you very much, Professor. Do you have any closing remark about the how you've seen the conference organized?
Well, I think so. I think first that it was organized in New Mexico is a good thing because New Mexico is a fantastic environment. It has a lot of characteristics that will compare to any city in a developing country, in a country like Kenya. Secondly, the people are very welcoming. I think if you had more time out of the conference room, you would learn a lot about New Mexico. Secondly, it's a multicultural state with some kind of problems that we may have in a multicultural society like Kenya. So talking to the governor, you can see the kind of issues she is handling, which are very comparable to those we are handling. And second, the manner in which the state has gone out to develop its resources to develop its resources in a situation like the United States of America, where there's very uneven development among the states. This is also in our situation where there's a very uneven development among the counties. Only here it's at a much more advanced level. But the states have decided to pull up themselves their own bootstraps, as it were, which I think is a big lesson we have to learn. Whatever problems we have, each state, each county will have to pull at itself with its own bootstraps.
Thank you very much.